Well, we are live.
Got it.
David's standing on the couch, as you can tell in the background, hanging up
There we go.
something. About to hang that up anyway. So, you know, he's
Perfect.
going to be joining. We are very slowly but surely actually getting things hung up, and it's really quite exciting. This is our last room.
It's mostly straight. Like this is mostly flat, and that is mostly centered.
Hey,
All right.
excellent. That was mostly an okay high five. You kind of missed my hand a little, but you
I
know.
couldn't see you.
Yeah, if you had your glasses on.
Hold on. Oh, there we go. Let's try it again.
There we go.
See?
It's all about that. Do you know, actually there's a trick to like really solid high fives,
Oh, really?
and that's too many people look at the hand, and that can give you a misestimation of where the hand will be.
Uh-huh.
The goal is to look at the elbow as you do it, and if you focus on the elbow, because the trajectory of your elbow is not going to change, but your hand trajectory may.
Got it.
It's all about looking at the elbow when you high five.
All right, let's give it a try.
You're supposed to high five my elbow. You're supposed to look at the elbow. Okay. Hello, everyone.
All right.
Jonathan, yeah, the cat pillow is adorable. We've got a fox on one side, a cat on the other.
Yep.
Very, very happy things. Well, just a second. You
What?
just hang out for a minute, because I think, if I remember correctly, and I do,
Mm-hmm.
is Cupcake Parade here?
Cupcake Parade.
Are you here?
Cupcake Parade.
/ Applesauce Project /
What was
Applesauce Parade.
That's right.
That would be fun.
Mmm.
Cupcake sauce could also be fun.
Mmm.
But yeah, Cupcake Parade. I'll wait to do this until maybe we see if it shows up.
I'm just checking my tweets right now.
So Tangi, we're also happy that you're here, and Ragdoll, always happy to have you for as long as you can be here. I know with everything going on with schooling, that can be really difficult. Apple Cake Project. There we go. That is the name. And Noel, happy to see you as well. Yeah, so we have a fun one today, because this is, I think, one of the last major pieces before we actually get to the like grammatical inflections.
Right. So if this is
And
the
so-
tree, that's it.
Yeah, and then we can like legit be making sentences, which is
Mhm.
something I've been wanting for a while, because it's so much more fun when I do the drawings to have a sentence to go with it, even if it's just basic, because I only have so many options to choose from in terms of what we've already created. But like, I do get excited by actually being able to write sentences. And right now, if you've been keeping up with the LangTime drawings, the last two have sentences on them, but they may not quite be grammatical, because if you recall last time, like, we were just making examples and we haven't talked yet about tense or anything. And so it's kind of like, well, that may or may not be a grammatical sentence when we actually finish this section. But it was still exciting to be able to do a sentence structure. Miles is asking, are we going to be doing anything with Tone Sandy?
You'd be surprised how little that plays into registered tone languages.
So no. And Graham,
Once we get to compounding,
yeah, you've missed a lot. Graham says that he's missed the last few episodes. Because goodness, we did the negation strategies. We're starting to do incorporation on the verb. We figured out how to do some of the subject / bipersonal agreement marking on the verb. We made some decisions that way. The big one for this week, so the poll, do Do you still like the wall? I see you turning around and looking at it.
I'm concerned that I didn't center that enough, but that's all right. It's all right.
It makes it more fun. Then you know you did it yourself, you know? I like things that are slightly imperfect.
I don't.
So our question for this week and what the poll was focused on for our patrons was noun incorporation for modified nouns. So, you know, we talked about how we can get nouns incorporated onto verb forms, but then it came, you know, do we have, scroll down, do we actually have the examples up here? Or were those only on Patreon?
I think those are only on Patreon. And we're not logged in at the moment here.
Okay.
I can do it. Let me just...
Because we had 3 options, or 4 options rather.
Let's see.
And there were examples, or an example, I guess.
Logging in.
Pick the right account.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the walls just keep going on forever, Jonathan. There's no ceiling here. That's why we're so echoey.
Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to pin the first post because we have our patron live stream.
Oh yes, Saturday the 20th.
Yes, okay. Patron live stream Saturday the 20th. And there we go. Let's see, put this back. There we go.
Now we're back, and now you can see.
Thank you, by the way, to Dark Horse for pointing out that I had the wrong form for one of these. I don't think it affected things, but it's always nice to be completely and totally 100% correct. Okay, perfect.
It's not only okay, it's expected, it's wonderful, it's part of being a human.
To be perfect.
To have a flaw. Okay, so we had, you know, how much could be incorporated. We've got those, if you recall, adjectives are incorporated into nouns.
Yeah.
And so then the question became like, how far do we take it as we're incorporating nouns into verbs? So yeah, we had these 4 options: generic incorporation, where only like the bare noun forms would be able to be incorporated, and so like no modifiers at all. Then we had nominal incorporation, where it's a noun of any number can be incorporated but cannot be modified. The adjectival incorporated option allows us to be able to incorporate, you know, like the terrifying mouse, where it's one word, like machuki, but we can't have any number marking on it.
Yeah.
And then full incorporation allows everything, anything and everything. Oh, and a banana.
That's right. And so here, I'll now that we have those, I'll zoom in a little so you can read these examples. So I was just giving you an example of our number, our demonstratives, and our adjectives. So we have, you know, chiki, which is mouse, and chiquito, mice. Reminds me of Menishe.
Ah.
But then so chiki, mouse, and the chiki, this mouse. Chiki, mouse, and chiki, small mouse. Mm-hmm. All right.
So there we go. Those were our options. This had a clear winner. In last place was generic incorporation.
I was surprised by that. That is actually the obvious one.
I was a bit surprised by that too. Right above it, barely, with 2 more votes, was full incorporation. And so having everything incorporated.
I expected
it's not super
that.
popular.
I expected that to be last place actually.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Then in second place, but still really low, only 2 more votes than full incorporation, was nominal incorporation. So that idea that we can do plural and singular in the incorporation, but you cannot modify it. And therefore our winner by a large margin was adjectival incorporation, where there will be no number marking, but there will be the possibility of having, like, I don't know, small mouse slides all in one go.
Yeah. And I like this one because we were not going to be able to do a thing that you usually or you sometimes see with certain types of incorporation. Since our adjectives are so small in number and so dependent on the nouns that they modify, we're not having standalone noun-like adjectives. If you do, you can do things like I jacket wore a blue one. Where and so noun incorporation languages will do this, where it just has blue sitting out there, the adjective, and then like I jacket wore is one word, and what it means is I wore a blue jacket. That's pretty cool. I like that, but that wasn't going to be possible with our language due to the way that we set up adjectives. So this, I think, is the next best thing. Big hello to David Camargo. I'm so happy that you could watch us live. The benefit for watching live is that our patrons actually script everything that we say.
So they knew in advance you'd be here,
yeah,
and we're reading the script.
It's a separate channel, and so we just actually read the script exactly as it pontificate. Okay, that's a good joke. We can get back to normal here. Anyway.
You're a handful sometimes.
Get it?
Yes.
Handful.
Yes.
Get it?
Yes,
All
you
right.
are.
All right. So, adjectival incorporation 1. And so we can, hold on a sec. Was this still an issue?
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Because I think...
So yeah, we can get rid of that. We do want to make sure that this is known. So that's going to become black. Probably have to put that in drop cap there.
So with the nominal incorporation, that one specifically said no, not modified by adjectival or demonstrative. With the adjectival incorporation, we specifically said without number marking, but it doesn't specifically say no demonstratives.
Okay.
I guess I kind of assumed it would.
Yeah, no. It's no demonstratives. Definitely.
Okay, I was like, I thought that would have been decided. Okay, and also, before I forget, because I feel like if Cupcake Parade were going to be here, they'd already be here.
Out.
Jimmy Dog is. But anyway, so Cupcake Parade, if you're watching this later, whether you're feeling more like your applesauce project or Cupcake Parade in the moment, a giant, big, happy birthday, actually today.
Mm-hmm.
Happy birthday to you. We're so happy to always have you here when you're able to be here. And so, happy birthday.
It's kind of crazy that, it's their actual birthday and they're not here. What else could they possibly be doing?
No idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so so when you do watch it later, you will, then here's some awesome birthday wishes in the comments too. Okay, so now we can move on. I just didn't want to get to the end of the stream and forget to say that, because it's always super exciting when we actually get it on a birthday. I think that's super fun.
I have an idea. This will help you make it clear. There we go. So yeah, now we're gonna have to deal with this, and yeah, this is also gonna be likewise ungrammatical. So this is next for us. But let's also do the mouse eats the small barley corn.
The one down below is no longer ambiguous. I.e., so theme has to be I eat a barley corn and cannot be he eats this barley corn because we're not doing this as incorporated.
Which one are you talking about?
The one right below where your mouse is.
Yes.
That one, the only reason it was ambiguous was if demonstratives were incorporated.
No, it's still, not, so, yeah, we can get rid of that,
Yeah,
but this part is still up in the air.
yes.
Okay.
I'm just saying it's not ambiguous.
All right, small barley corn is C, right?
Yes, because it comes from the word for barley corn.
CCTV? Cheeky CCTV? Yeah, I like that. CCTV. Okay, and then we will definitely get to Dark Horse's suggestion on Patreon because it's relevant here, and I think it's something that we'll want to seriously consider. So I want to put basically we'll just write Japanese voiceless vowels, and that'll be enough. Okay, so then this. I eat a barley corn. So the question is, are we going to allow, where's our agreement? Is it down or up? It's down.
Well, it's right up there.
Yes. So, are we going to allow
So we were treating them like intransitives if they had noun incorporation,
Yes.
which is why it's the in high tone.
Thank you. So that much is clear. But now the question is, are we going to allow stuff in the front at all?
Right.
No, subject is not incorporated. We're only incorporating objects.
And I do need to open, I realized just now I had the wrong language open. And so I want to be able to scroll where I want to scroll in my own document. Get back over here. There we go.
Well, welcome, Jesse Sands. Welcome to the document. And
Thank
this
you.
episode of LangTime Studio, I'm glad that you could join us. I don't know what you've been doing up to now.
Just sitting here. I mean, at least I was actually sitting here when the stream started and not standing on the couch.
At least I was getting something done while standing on the couch. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Who measured it out for you?
Thank you, I appreciate it. I'm actually really happy with that. I mean, I'm semi like terrified about the non-centeredness of it, and I'm seriously thinking of pulling the thing out and moving it like 1 inch to the right. But I'm really happy that it's up. More stuff getting done, and look, and everything got up right side up because that's always a concern as well. Okay.
So I was double checking because I wanted to make sure that we were in fact marking the way I said that the only way you get by personal is if there's no noun incorporation.
Yeah.
And that is correct. So I'm checking.
Yes.
I was checking the other forms because I didn't want it to be like a lie.
Yeah. Ozidaya, what do you mean by cipher langs? Do you mean just a cipher for some other languages? I wouldn't call that a cipher lang. I'd call it a cipher, and not a language, or not a different language. So a cipher for English is just English.
Sorry, I started thinking ahead.
Uh-huh.
I feel very strongly on this issue
Uh-huh.
that looking at it, I want to say that for these instances where you're incorporating the object and not negation up above, which is a stronger grammatical object incorporation situation,
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that you cannot get subject marking. So I eat a barley corn would have to have a separate pronoun.
Okay.
Or if we wanted to go the route that last time we were kind of talking about, like just pro drop all around and like you just figure it out by context.
Okay.
But like, I don't know, I just, especially since so many of our syllables are, as they come together, overlapping. I don't know. That's how I feel. How do you feel?
I'm fine with that. If we say no, what we need to do is something that we've been avoiding, which is coming up with standalone versions of these pronouns.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to have something that they attach to make them pronouns.
Mm-hmm.
That's about what that could be.
The word for something, and then it's like myself essentially is I, but like I think self we already kind of did as
I suppose.
knows. But that was part of like possession and reflexive, and so like, but like something where we attach it to something like that.
Yeah, like, well, I know, because body came to mind, and then there's tail, but we already decided that nose would be it. What was the word for nose? Was it ye?
Oh yeah, it was nose. Ye, yeah.
And so it's like, do we want to say that that's the pronominal form too?
I think that gets. I mean, if we do say that, then
Also, does ye become g?
essentially it would just be like the what?
Can't remember if we're already on mice. I think we probably are. Let's see. Let's see what happens.
So, oh no, well, that's a note. The Japanese voiceless vowel note is for David to remember to talk about in a bit an idea that Dark Horse had, and so we're gonna get back to it. We just aren't there yet.
Fiji, and then what do we have? Ngaji and Waji. So the pronouns would be Fiji, Ngaji, and Waji.
Oh my god, that's almost too cute.
That is. And then the cases. Do this all out. Could have duals as well, and say essentially you just treat them as nouns.
Like Fiji would be singular, and
Fiji?
then
Yeah, and then Fiji wa. What? Wait. Yeah, Fiji wa. No. Or what's the? I don't remember where our dual comes from. Is it an S?
oh, it comes from Swaza, cherry.
Okay.
So it'd be Fiji Swa.
Fiji swa. Fiji swa.
And then the vu, I believe, is
We could have it shortened up to just the. So tiswa. Or tiswa. So like the ya, just like it.
one of them was ambiguating. Totally wrong word. One of them's assimilating, one of them was dissimilating in that chart.
Don't
Oh,
it could be a
it's-
separate one. Yeah.
The swa is assimilating,
Assimilating.
so
Tiswa.
yeah.
Yeah. But the point was that the ye like shortens up And so you only see the G in the natural case, and then in all the other ones it just shortens. So the, nge, and we, or we. And then just do it all out. What do you think?
I need you to repeat that because I was looking at the schwa suffix information.
Well,
and I was kind of mostly paying attention.
Let's go here.
Ooh, wonderful place to be.
And column after. This is dual. We're probably going to have, so this would be phi, ji, this would be nga, ji, and this would be wa, ji,
That was a fun little symbol.
we, ji, right?
Okay, oh yeah, because it would depend on whether that person was close to you or not.
Yeah.
Or proximity.
The dualo.
Ooh! That's a fancy one. Didn't know we were going there today.
Okay, so, and then for...
You know you're going to have to make that noise again, right? Oh, my word.
Plural, we can just do slashes here. So this would end up being the, and this is assimilating or not? It's just vu.
Animate would be, yeah, just high tone vu, regardless.
And then, okay, dissimilating. Nge, vu, and nge.
Sorry. Like, go ahead and finish this out. I'm wondering when an inanimate first person plural would be, or it
Doesn't seem relevant, does it?
in same for second. Third person, yes.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah.
So this
And
is
in fact, we'll
really-
actually have what, 4 forms for?
Yep. We have ooh. Weke, we ooh, and we okay.
Yes.
Boy, boy. Oh boy. And now it's just boy, oh boy. We're gonna have to just. This table's gonna need to be a lot bigger. What was SWA is assimilating, right?
Schwa is, yeah, assimilating.
Okay. So the SWA, nge SWA, and we SWA, we SWA. And so this is the natural. All right, do we want to like actually do this? Because if we want to actually do this, it's going to be add column there, add column there, add row below, and then this is just going to go bam like that. That's going to bam thusly, and that will thusly bam, and merge there, merge here.
I like how you're like, should we do this? And then here you go, just doing it. So I sure hope so.
Oh boy, yeah, we're gonna need another row here, add row below, and merge. And then this is gonna be proximal, and this will be distal. Yeah, and then we're gonna do
And yes, we should do this because
you're right.
it really helps.
Yeah. And we're gonna have a whole thing doing their cases and everything, but this'll
This
be
gets
enough.
us started.
Yeah, this will be enough to remind us.
I did
Okay.
not want to be copied.
Uh-oh.
Wrong one. Oh man, how embarrassing.
For you to be associated with me.
Indeed. Wait, when should I start saying I'm looking for a new co-host? Is that now?
You can say it as much as you want, but my contract, I mean, whew, airtight. Okay. There we go. And then let's go ahead and there we go. And then can we even?
Wait.
Can we even? Yeah. Did I do it right?
Sorry, go on. No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
I am.
Gonna need another color there. Also gonna need to do that.
4 days ago, Dean Stockwell died.
Who's that?
He's Quantum Leap. He's out.
Oh. Oh my
Oh
goodness.
my gosh. And that was Dark Horse said R.I.P. Dean Stockwell. And I was like, wait, what?
Man.
Oh, man.
That is a stone cold bummer. I'm
Okay.
so sorry. But he was,
I
he
mean-
lived a good long life, didn't he?
He was like 85.
Yeah.
So that's good. But, sad.
I'm gonna see if I can grab another color here. If not, I'm gonna move to Tapahla. There it is. That's the color I need. Copy style. And paste style. Oh, it changed the font size. And then copy style here. I didn't realize these were all 10 point. We can
Well, yeah, we had some long pronouns and whatnot.
and paste style. Let's go ahead and beep that up too, and I'm gonna thing it over here.
You're gonna thing it?
Yeah, I did. Okay, so there's our pronoun table for the natural case.
Yay! Okay, and we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more tables.
No, it'd just be the one more table, really. That just has the rest of the cases. That's usually how I do it. And it'd work out just fine. I mean, should, right?
Well, we have unnatural, allative, ablative,
Because instead of
instrumental, locative, suppressive.
Instead of
and a
singular
verb.
dual, what you have on the top, you just have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So how many unique combinations do we have? There's 1, 2, right? And then 3 and 4, 5, 6. That's it. So
Oh, well, you know what? You make your.
yeah.
You know what you want. I will read you forms as you're ready for them.
Let's see. I'm actually going to read Tongi's comment as I think it was meant to be read. My first move to central vowels. Those are your beautiful central vowels.
And
You like that?
Tongi, I will.
You like
I
that?
will welcome you.
You like that? That's
Exactly.
Eddie Vedder.
And you know what?
God.
People liked it.
Eddie Vedder is probably watching this, though. I love you, Eddie Vedder. You've just got a magnificent ear. And you do have a very good singing voice. It's nice when we hear it sometimes. When it's not being, forced through a bunch of central vowels.
Anyway.
We've talked about this, right? My theory with central vowels
Uh,
and singing.
maybe.
That when you use central vowels, it allows you to fake it, basically. So it's like there's only so much range you can get with them, and so if you feel like you can't actually hit the notes, you just do central vowels, and then it's like rather than being like this, you're like this, and so it's
So
close
that's what
enough.
I'm doing wrong. When I sing, I should just go central.
It's like happy birthday to you versus happy birthday to you. It's like
I also like, though, that central vowels means you're a ventriloquist, essentially, because your mouth
Basically.
is glued. Okay.
what's a you know who else does it is what's his face. It was popular in the 90s with male singers. leaving on a southern train on yesterday. Okay, so
It also requires eyebrow waggles.
yeah, you gotta make up for it somehow. Anyway.
Peterson and Central Valley history books. Tongi, that's awesome. Okay. Oh, welcome, Minnie. I think you just joined.
No, it's not.
David's going to be copying this table for formatting and creating a table for all the other cases.
No.
You're going to be creating another table.
Well, yeah, but that's not what I'm doing right now. Like, this is good enough. We've seen that we have the full forms here, and that for the other forms, we're getting this reduced one.
Okay.
So we've seen that. All right. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look who it is.
It's Kay.
That's right. And she's
Yes.
giving us hearts.
Yes,
3 of
she
them.
is.
Purple ones. Oh, nice.
Oh, wait, I gotta get wait, is it this way? What is the BTS? Am I doing that right, Kay? Or is it the other way? It's that way, I think. You know what I'm trying to do, Kay. I'm sending you BTS love.
You know who's playing? So we just went to the Rams game at SoFi Stadium. BTS is playing there at the end of the month, beginning of next month.
Nice.
You know who's playing there next year? Kenny Chesney.
Very nice. Maybe he'll be there with Grace Potter. They do a lot of things together.
Maybe we'll get to hear him sing some Central Vowels.
Wait, what good old Disney? Kay's making me smile.
Beer and trucks and guns and God bless America. There you go.
Anyway, let's get back to this.
Country music. All right, so anyway, where are we at?
So Tangi, I have many people in my life who are Army.
Oh, that's right. It's
By
Veterans Day, isn't it?
association, appreciate them very much, but I do not know or follow as many things. I do, however, appreciate all of their music videos.
Okay, that's you. So I guess this is me.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I had that highlighted because I was
Look,
looking.
now we just need more people to make
join
a
in.
killer pattern. Okay, I think we. Come on down. Okay.
Shania, get some Reba in there.
Oh, right. That's why we're doing this. Okay, here we go.
So, sorry, I was referencing Tanguy's comment specifically, asking if I'm an Army. That's BTS Army.
Oh.
I have veterans in my life, though, and many, including my sister-in-law. And so I will take that and spread the Happy Veterans Day to them.
There we go. So, there we go.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So then this, I think, is done. We should probably write this up with words.
You think?
But but at least the data is there. You know, I didn't appreciate it in grad school when, you know, we would write papers and we put up a table and say, okay, but you actually have to explain what's in the table. And I'm like, why? It's in the table. It's like, I get it now. I get it. So sorry, Eric. I get it now. All right. Then let's do this. Let's go ahead and do this now, and let's talk about it. So. Do you like this? No, in fact, you know what? Let's go ahead. Do you like this?
This I'm okay with, yes.
Okay.
And a reason for that is that these noun incorporations are so grammaticalized that they are treated differently from the other noun incorporations. And that's, I
Okay.
actually like that distinction.
Okay, are they grammaticalized enough that they allow another incorporated noun or no?
No.
Okay, got it. All right, so
And
then,
so much so that if you recall, the other noun argument has to be in the ablative. Because the
That's
direct
right.
object is the
Good
crumb
point.
in this case.
okay. And then the mouse doesn't eat the barley corn. That is optional. And let's go ahead and do another one of these and show that you can do both. So we can do this, and they're both okay. But let's go ahead and do an incorporated one to show that it is not allowed. So,
Oh, Graham is only able
Bam.
to be here today because it's a public holiday in Alberta. And hello, W. Watson.
You certainly haven't been here in a while. Good to see you. Graham, did something change so that you can no longer make it? Or was it the time change that did it?
Well, now we're all back on the same time zone.
Right, because Canada still does it everywhere now.
And the adjectival incorporation one, which means we can have like small barley corn incorporated on the verb, but we cannot have this barley corn or barley corns incorporated onto the verb.
Oh, well, congratulations, Graham. That's always nice.
Oh, yeah, it's nice twice over. The newness of it and then the fact that you care about it is super awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, he was watching during his job class. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Okay, then that's settled. And we can write it up later. I could try to like write it up maybe in between streams. But do you want to take a phonological detour?
Yes. Wait. Before we do a detour, I think we have something to celebrate. Because we figured out some things.
All right. Well
That's
then.
exciting.
Oh, guess what we have here? The jar came, and what a jar it is.
And it's all coffee.
It is original version.
Yes.
Unbelievable. And by the way, 2 of these Copicos is 35 calories. So what that means is you can sit down and chomp on 20 of them, right? And it's only 350 calories. That's not bad.
Are you looking at the sugars?
It's only 30% of your saturated fat in the day.
Go down to sugar, and if you had 20 servings that are 14% of your daily sugar content.
That's just 140% of your sugars. That's fine. And that's only, not only that, that's 140% of your added sugars. That doesn't add anything to your total sugars. Oh wait, I guess it does. I know how the word total works. Anyway. All right. Well, a big thank you to.
Oh, Miles. No, you don't get to put ideas into David's head.
Ooh, what? There we go. Negative calories. Big thank you to Mayura, our unofficial sponsor, for not giving us these for free, which you should be.
So is that why they're unofficial?
Yeah. Anytime you want to make it official.
We're ready.
Yeah, and just spend 2 hours talking about how great Copico is. What was that one?
We could have a Copico lane. A Copicon lane.
Oh.
Copicon lane.
Copicon lane. Cheers.
I like that we both do this.
Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh. Copico, the original sponsor of Cool. Oh, it's been a week since I had one of these. So delicious. Now that we have that many, we can probably like feel pretty good about just having one, right? You know, just as a candy throughout the day.
You do realize that there's some downstairs that you could totally be helping yourself to. Got 2 candy dishes down there.
Wow. Delish. Okay. Yeah. All right, and we will talk about CopyCon. It'll happen. Don't worry. Anyway, okay. So, phonology. What do you think? Okay.
I'm ready for your tummy.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to Patreon because Dark Horse said something that that I've discovered myself. So this is where Dark Horse pointed out that I had the wrong form here. But he says, for some reason, I want to drop the "y" in long words. And so instead of the "si chi kibu," it's the "si kibu." And I agree. What that reminds me of is the phenomenon of vowel dropping in Japanese. In Japanese, high vowels are dropped or voiceless, depending on how far along the sound change is, in between 2 voiceless consonants, or at the end of a word if it follows a voiceless consonant. So, let's see. What are some words that feature this?
BCP.
Japanese words.
Oh, I was.
So, like, for example,
You said words, you didn't specify.
if it was a word in Japanese that was written kashi, it would actually be pronounced kashi, where essentially there's kind of like a whispered vowel at the end.
And Freddie is listing all sorts.
Here we go. There's a popular name that's written like this, and so you would think it'd be pronounced Daisuke, but in fact it often gets heard as Daisuke, as if there's no U there. Depending on the speaker, you might hear the vowel, but it's voiceless. So it'd be, Daisuke, Daisuke. And then of course, another one for at the end of the word. This is one of the copulas in Japanese, desu. And so like, tashi wa, what's something that you can be, like a person. Oh gosh, oh my Japanese vocabulary is just disappearing from me. All I can think of is salaryman. Tashi wa salaryman desu. Right? Anyway. Oh yes, the past tense. So here we have taberu becomes in the past tense tabemashita, but it's pronounced tabemashita. Okay. Anyway, so the point is, this only happens with high vowels. So e or I. It only happens in between voiceless consonants or at the end of the word after a voiceless consonant. And basically the idea is, like, I think it starts out as basically it's too much effort to just voice the full vowel and put it in there. And I have had the exact same experience that Dark Horse has had when it comes to words like this. It's like chi. It's just so much easier to just say chi. It's like the vowel just drops straight out. And so, like, with the example that we had there, you're like, I'm sorry. Why am I doing this?
Kibu.
Kibu? No, Kibu? Yeah, that's it. Kibu? Okay, so, anyway. if we were going to apply this in a regular fashion in our language, it's probably going to be the same type of thing. Probably looking at high vowels, probably in between voiceless consonants. And two things. We have to make sure that it doesn't happen too much. Because it's like this isn't going to come out as right? And then we also need to figure out what happens to stranded tones.
Manning just dropped a Flaming Lips reference for you.
Oh, that's cute. That's actually pretty obscure. I mean, it's newer, but pretty obscure. I like that. Okay. So, I would say that, we could say that it only affects certain tones.
That was going to be my next question, is if we do move forward with this idea, would it only be low tones, or would it only be if there's two different tones?
Bcp, Bcp. I could see that. I could see it happening there. And I would say like not the first syllable of the word, but on the other hand, chiki. Chiki. Seems fine to me. Yeah. Bcp. It's
Is this something worth putting up to the poll to the commenters to see if they're interested in exploring this situation?
Yeah, let's do it like Congress. So just put this up and say, should we keep discussing this or not? Or should we just drop it?
Yes.
Basically, is this motion going to be seconded or not?
It's voiceless vowel situation. No. Did you see I had my fingers on the wrong keys?
Oh.
So it was yes or
It's a pretty good word for no.
So should we keep discussing this? In other words, is this worth pursuing? In which case we'll have to make decisions about when and how often and what vowels and all of that good stuff. That's some good cocoa.
Yeah.
I should keep track on mine. I forgot that you don't have the full. Like how it was like all of a sudden. And then, assuming we move forward with the discussion, Davide has an interesting point that maybe it affects high vowels between an adjective and a voiceless. And well, you know, our version of what is, quote, pronounceable is Morpheus, especially considering the fact that this was supposed to be a language I could pronounce, and then we went and put adjectives in it, and we know that I'm really horrible at adjectives. So
well, I mean, we could have done whatever we wanted with Menishe, and you went and added tone and adjectives.
I did, huh?
Uh-huh.
That was not already part of the language package as it showed up. That was not already decided before I got on the project,
It
huh?
was all you.
Okay.
I just wanted to make it really simple. Mapo, meepo.
Yeah, that's exactly how I remember it happening. And yeah, Minnie, it's way better than tbahwa. Like I can actually like have a shot at pronouncing half these words semi-okay. And so that's exciting. All right. And Jake is saying, just based on like some quick reading on the subject, tone doesn't affect it in Japanese, so it can be across the board. All right, so we are very heavily, I'm gonna go ahead and end this because I don't know why I'm waiting for more votes when it's like, it's a very heavy leaning.
Yeah.
I think you need to click on the blue arrow to get it to go back to
Oh, look at everybody.
There we go. I know, right, Tongi? Like, I miss the good old days of Mingala where it's like the worst that I did was put a G with my Angma.
Mm-hmm.
Or do an, an A instead of an ash.
It's because you're in Angala, you know what I mean? An Ang kind of gal.
Or am I a gala? W, bye. Hope you have a wonderful day. I know, right, Minnie? Imagine the witches of
Nice to see
Motherland
you,
just standing
Debbie.
around being like, beep boop, wah ba ba boo. I don't know why we didn't try that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do. I have no idea how many examples we're going to need in order to truly test this. But what I'm going to do.
Really, all of the sentences we have so far could just be starting points.
Well, let's.
Just to like get discussion started.
Let's do it like this. Okay, so.
Dark Horse has this idea for a conlang season. We each get the same proto-lang and we develop sister languages from it separately.
Why?
That could be really fun.
Okay.
Graham is pointing out it may not work for a stream, separate work, but like a blog series or something.
Mm-hmm.
The chronicles of Miles, Kopicon booth number 1. If we did have Kopicon for real, which we will, that would be a kind of fun unveiling. They grant us a proto-lang and we, at the conference, come out swinging with our sister languages.
I assume it would be Dutch. That would be our proto-lang.
Oh my word.
No, we'd have to, maybe on the podcast, we'd come up with a joint proto sketch. You think that would be good enough?
Get us started. Okay, sorry. All I can see is tuna, and now I'm like, tuna sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And now, this is. I'm telling you, this is gonna take a while.
Oh, people are coming up with great ideas. Special episode where we explain our language to the other person. WA is saying patrons should be able to decide or help decide characteristics of the proto-lang. Miles is saying good idea for holiday season streams. And Noel says, but we could always do first hour is Jesse, second hour is David. And leave the room. It's my turn.
Okay. This is a good place to stop. I mean, we could see if tone makes a difference. I don't think it should.
I just want to know, like, what words in this language are going to have that many low tones in a row. Like, if you made them all high tone, I believe you.
It's true.
But, like, we have yet to see. Oh, do you really have to wonder who would be more productive in their half of the live stream? So can you say these louder? Because I want to kind of hear like the differentiation that you're...
Wasituna, 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 wasituna. And then wafituna, 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 wafituna.
And we'd be looking specifically at the E vowel in both cases. So it'd be like wastuna.
Yeah. Wastuna. Wastuna. Yeah. Wastuna.
And so words number 1 and 4 would be pronounced the same.
Wastuna. Yeah, this is where we have to. The third column is where we have to ask ourselves a question. What's going to happen to the disappearing tone that is not next to another tone of its kind? So everywhere else, the vowel that disappears is next to a tone of its kind. When it's by itself, though, wasituna, it's wastuna.
But that's the same in the 4th one too, because it's a low tone and then a high tone.
No, it's fine because it's next to a low tone.
Oh, on the left
on
side?
On the other side, yeah.
Okay. So you're not just looking forward.
If it were this. Wastuna. Wastuna. Wasituna. Wastuna. Wastuna. I didn't intend to come up with like the silliest, consonants. Wasituna. Wastuna. 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 Yeah. Wastuna. 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 Wow.
I don't know, but I'm inclined to be like it can only be deleted if it matches in tone.
Hold on a sec. This is what I'm feeling. And this is what I'm feeling. So wasituna becomes wastuna. And wasituna becomes wastuna. I'm sorry, wastuna.
I thought we were disallowing certain. Did we do only rising or did we do only lowering in this one? Or are we disallowing?
We disallowed entirely, but Tongi loves it. But it's something that could have arisen in this situation.
I feel like this would be something that if we did it would not be reflected in orthography, romanization, anything. It would just be like, this is how people do it.
I think that it should be reflected in the romanization. I don't think it should be reflected in the orthography.
And if an E is deleted? Or, sorry, what if it were Wastuna? Do we have a double hat?
Frick.
Oh, and Jonathan is making a point here.
I don't remember.
Do you want me to look it up?
Yeah, can you look it up? Meantime, let's go to Unicode. Let's see, so we got this. Oh, don't you dare do that. Okay, let's see here. So here's our old friends. Then we have the macron. We have that. Wow, the only one that actually doesn't have the
remember when we started this language. Okay, those are all the
Yeah, it is falling
tone.
tone.
Mm.
Minnie's saying 18 weeks ago.
Okay.
That doesn't seem right.
Oh, it has to be though. We're on episode 318.
Huh.
Good call, Minnie. I don't see the vote. I wonder if it was a vote that we did. I'm still looking just in case. But like, I'm wondering if that's a vote we just did. Okay, can I see more posts, please?
John is saying this was not a Patreon poll.
I don't think so. It's only showing like top results, so I'm struggling with searching in a good way. There we go. Now it's loading more. So apparently I was just struggling finding good search terms.
I mean, there is a way around it. And that's this. It's not necessarily. I mean, it's Baitongi. It's definitely not something that Biblaridian would approve of, but.
Well, then we can't do it.
But basically. Let's see here.
That was dissemination. So we're just gonna have another sound change? Because we don't like the romanization?
Basically, it's like, or what we would say is, oh man.
Voicing, yeah, I'm gonna say that we did tone in a live stream, and any votes we had were in a particular live stream. Because the first 4 polls we had this season were about phonology, but all of them were like voicing, what should be allowed as codas, things like that. I don't see anything dealing with tone.
And what about
and Minnie, yeah, that really cracks me up, because I think both David and I were like, it hasn't been 18 episodes, and how would you know that? And it's momentarily like, oh yeah, we number them. We literally number them. Okay. Yeah, I'm up to poll 7, and now we're talking nominal inflections.
I hate to say this, but I don't think there's any way around it. We'd have to have a way to represent falling E. Because like it's one thing for, I-E, but then we also have U-E. You could say, well, then it just becomes U, but then what about E-E? So this situation, wakishina. And if that's going to disappear, wakishina. It's really hard to imagine that a disappearing E would cause another E to become some other vowel.
Obviously an ah. And at that point, Waxana.
Waxana.
And in fact, it introduces an ash to this language. Waxana. Roxy.
Waxan.
Good night, Raffio. Hope you have a good night. Okay, and also the circumflex, was that only falling tone? Or was that rising tone? Or both?
Falling.
How would you do rising tone?
We don't have it. Because you saw the two situations. Either the rising tone is on the following vowel or the rising tone is on the previous vowel.
What?
Um,
I shouldn't have.
See, the only place a contour emerges, right, is when you have a different tone in between two like tones.
Mm-hmm.
And so in this situation, it results in a rising tone on the vowel following the one that disappeared. And in this situation, it results in a following tone on the vowel before the vowel that disappeared.
So in other words, the circumflex means nothing and you have to know the language, and therefore the romanization is kind of silly because it represents two potential things?
No, the circumflex means a falling tone.
It can't be a rising tone?
No, because there is no rising tone. There's only falling tones.
Did we decide this?
What?
You're saying it like we decided this.
No, I just did it because it made sense.
Well, I was combing through our patron polls. You decided that?
Well, yeah, just because it made sense. Look. Wasituna. Wastuna. Right? Wasituna. Wastuna. See?
On these particular examples, but what if it's
The
all high tones and one low tone, which is much more likely in our language than all low tones and one high tone?
Then nothing needs to change. Because they're all the same tone. The tone melody doesn't change. Wasituna. Wastuna. These are the only two relevant examples.
And so if you had wasi tuna,
Yep. Wastuna. Falling tone.
many. Yeah. I am like, listen, I will go with majority rules, but I am not feeling this.
I'm feeling it 100%, except for the fact that we don't have a way to illustrate a falling tone for E.
Oh yeah, we do. It's the one that you've already said will not happen. And if it's going to be falling, then I would say get rid of the circumflex and just have a downward, and downward means falling instead of low tone. Low tone is unmarked, downward is falling, a grave accent. And we have a double grave on the U.
Oh.
Megan, you have missed David potentially changing the entire phonology of this language.
So you're saying, oh no.
Yeah, the one you don't like, that one.
Oh no.
There you go.
The thing that shall never be.
If you want this to happen, it kind of has to be.
I can't believe there's not a U with 2 dots and a circumflex over it, but there is with a caron. It's just... Oh boy. Well, that's it then.
No, it's only if we go forward with this.
Yep. Okay. Wow.
And so I would change the circumflex over the U and the A in the first line and change it to graph marking.
Oh God, that would really hurt me.
That's what I'm saying.
Except that's a long vowel.
Yeah, we don't want to do a double vowel situation, Noel, because that's long vowel.
Oh. Oh. Oh my goodness.
And the other reason I say this is going to get complicated really fast is that this is only going to emerge after inflections, which means it's like, again, like, why would you let it affect the romanization?
Hmm? Oh, so that you know how to pronounce it.
I'm never typing a sentence in this language. Like, I don't know. Put a falling tone. Go for it. Why? Because it feels good.
Okay, hold on a sec. But we can restrict it a little bit. So hold on. We have though incidentally, with all this and the tone contours, this, which would just become, you know, because we just don't allow rising tones at all. That would be why. You just can't have rising tones. Let's say it emerges as down step. And then presumably Ski. Oh wait, Ski.
Based on how much we worked to have no codas and disallowed clusters, this is like a whole new language.
I know, but I really like it.
And I'm glad you do, but also it's a different language than what we've been working on sound-wise for 18 weeks.
Not really, because every time I pronounce chiki, I pretty much don't have a vowel in there.
That sounds like a speaker thing.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what this is. So this is what we could say to kind of reduce it. You could have it in between something that is minus voice plus continuant, vowel plus high, and then vowel plus high goes to nothing in the environment of C minus voice plus continuant, C minus voice minus continuant, and then we're going to actually do it like this. Greek. Alpha. And alpha. So in other words, they both have to be minus voice, but basically on one side it has to be minus continuant, and on the other side it has to be plus continuant. And so
Ejectives aren't considered minus continuant?
they are, but what I'm saying is like you would have this situation, it would drop out, but not this situation. Because the right half of ch is plus continuant, but the left half is minus continuant. So, you see?
No, I don't.
This becomes that. This stays. But this would become that.
Can you write out in everyday language what your rule means? Because I'm reading it very differently from what you've just described it. I'm reading it as it has to be minus alpha, which means it has to be different. So if you have plus continuant on one side, it has to be minus on the other.
Yes.
Minus on one side, it has to be plus.
Correct.
So what you're saying is an adjective is minus continuant when we want it to be, but plus continuant when we want it to be.
No.
How then are you?
You're focusing on the wrong
first
thing.
one?
It's not that it's an ejective, it's that it is an affricate. Because affricates are minus continuant on one side and plus continuant on the other. That's their very definition,
Okay.
right? That's why we spell them like that, right? Because this thing is minus continuant, this thing is plus continuant.
And yet they're usually one segment. So that's fine.
No, phonologically they're one segment.
Yeah, which is why this is making no sense to me. Like,
It
why?
absolutely does make sense. For example,
Again, it means I will never be able to write things in this language
Hang
because
on.
none of this is really settling.
No. Everybody, please pay attention to this. This is super important. Super important.
Sorry, that must have been super loud in the echoey room.
This is the most important thing. You really have to, everybody has to understand the phonetics of this. And we're going to go, we don't have to go far for this, we can go to English. English, it is very clear that we think of affricates as single segments. And my phonetics professor had a brilliant demonstration of this. He had somebody stand up and he said, okay, I'm just going to give you a word, you tell me if it's in the group or out of the group, and I'll tell you whether you're right or not. And so basically he just fed him a bunch of words, you know, like girl, and the guy said yes, and he said no. Then he said like truck, and he said yes. And you keep going like this. Eventually the guy has figured out, if it begins with two consonants, it's in two or more consonants, it's in the group. If it begins with one consonant or none, it's out of the group. And so once we were all sure that he got it, then he gave him a word like chat, and he said no, it's not in the group. And that was a perfect demonstration that we don't think of ch as two consonants. We think of it as a single segment. However, plural of cat is cats. Plural of grass is grasses. Plural of match. This is a sibilant, this is a stop. If it was just a stop, the plural should be maps.
But affricates are counted as sibilants. They're in the sibilant box. I'm not arguing against its continuant status or its sibilant status. I'm arguing against like saying it's half and half.
That's exactly what it is. It doesn't count as a sibilant. Otherwise, we would have words in English that were like that. We could also have
so
words.
This is fine.
We could also have
This is
words
all fine. What
in
isn't
English.
fine to me is how much the language is changing.
we could also have words that ended like that. Couch. So it's not. It's half one thing and half the other. That's how these things work. That's why they're affricates.
Okay. I am thinking, and like, again, this is something that I'd be like, in speech, yeah, this happens, but I just don't see why it needs to be a formal, it's now going to change every example we have up above, and
It's going to make things shorter, which is good because we're going to need it.
no, it makes it less clear, which is bad because then we don't really know what we're writing.
Well,
Because we're deleting something, but even when it's deleted in the romanization of Japanese, you still write it. You still have that vowel.
yeah, and you'll still write it in the orthography, yes.
But even in the romanization of Japanese, you don't write D-I-A-S-K-E. You write it with a U in there in the romanization of it. That's how I've seen it.
Yeah, but you don't have to.
But I'm saying we should, because I don't want a language where I'm looking at it going, well, this could be one of 8 things.
I think that we should not, but I think that could be also a separate question. I think it would make it hopelessly confusing if you didn't write it in the romanization.
I think this whole situation is making this language hopelessly confusing, and I was happy with where it was. And now I'm very unhappy with the direction of this.
It's a small part, though. It's only high vowels, and only in this very narrow circumstance.
Why would it only be high vowels? Sorry, not high, but okay, you're saying high, not high tone.
Yeah, no, only high vowels. So E, U, and U. That's it.
Maybe our patrons should decide.
All right. So basically, this is another. This is kind of like how we're defining this. At this point, we're not talking about how it's going to be written, but do we like this rule? And it's this rule, and by the way, it's also going to incorporate the what you can call it, the falling tone. Okay. We have to.
Patrons is what I said.
Oh, patrons.
Yeah.
Oh.
I wasn't
Oh.
saying right now. This is
no?
a big decision that's going to affect, again,
Okay.
every word we've created so far. We need to go back and recheck it. Every example, sentence, and phrase, all the negation strategies we did, everything we've done so far is going to have to be gone back over. And so this is not a let's make a snap decision. This is a patrons get a week, think it through decision.
Okay. I mean, it's not that big a deal, though. Like,
as I'm looking through all the E's and all the E's and all the Oo's that we have, like, we have made this a high tone kind of language, and I'm seeing all over the board
right, but like
where things would disappear.
It wouldn't actually apply like almost anywhere. Here, and then like here, maybe here, depending on when it happens. Because this originally came from a stop or from an affricate, so it would apply if it happened at an old time. But if it didn't, then it wouldn't. But it's like it's basically just happening already anyway, where it happens. But like there are very few spots where it actually applies.
So Cupcake Parade, we wished you a happy birthday earlier, so you can go back to about 15 minutes into the episode to hear it the first time, but for a second time around, happy birthday.
Woo!
Yay!
And actually, that's not a bad thing to do on one's birthday, take
Right?
a nap,
That sounds wonderful.
It's really just a nap. I think it's like the ultimate something that's just for yourself.
You see Miles, this is literally David versus Jesse. So prepared.
Oh no, that was
Miles.
oh wow.
The Jesse army is ready.
Just wait till you read the post. Come at it with an open mind. I think it's a really good idea. dark horse. I'm totally with you on this. I think it's a great idea. And it applies in so few places.
Oh, no.
Anyway.
First of all, Dark Horse is already saying this could be just a fast speech thing, not like something we need to formalize in the language itself. And so, like, Dark Horse has already said that in the chat. And then Dark Horse is making sure this is not a question about romanization. No, it is not. Again, it would be a feature of fast speech, which may or may not show up in romanization. Exactly, Miles.
It's not a bad idea. Wait, what do you mean? What is exactly? And also, no, it totally would be reflected in the romanization. Otherwise, you wouldn't know how to pronounce anything. Like, yeah.
When David needs a water break, that's when you know it's serious.
You sent me to the bottle.
I already emptied mine. I'm like, I need more.
Was yours full?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I filled it up like right before we started. It's never enough water. Okay, so Chris, this war it's going to be a patron vote. It's over whether we should drop high vowels in particular environments. That's the first question. The second question after that, which will be a different question to explore, is if or how it is reflected in the romanization.
Yeah, and the toughest thing about this is the tone change. That's got to be written because you can't just guess that.
But the way you said that it should be predictable, you should be. It's not guessing. You just know.
I know, but it's just like you don't know it until it happens. Then you have to go back and add in the tone that you miss.
But as a native speaker, you know. Native speakers don't need spelling. They just know.
They do, but we're not native speakers.
Yeah, and the people who are playing this game.
They're definitely not native speakers.
And so you're going to say if you don't do it like we do in fast speech instead of careful, slow speech?
Oh, yeah. This whole fast speech versus careful, slow speech is something I am not on board with at all. At all. No, I think that you write it so that you know how to pronounce it.
Megan, that's perfect. Okay, so we're going to save this. We've got 27 minutes left. We can stop arguing.
All right. Okay. So then, where do we go next?
Did you want to return to the pronoun chart?
No, I think that's just busy work that I can do at off times. Because we made all the appropriate decisions for how to fill out the rest of that pronoun chart, so really it's just
okay.
We're writing it. We should move on with our verbs and figure out how to take it to the next step. So we have our agreement, we have noun incorporation, we have negation.
Mm-hmm.
Should we like cut all the negation stuff and paste it there?
Perhaps.
Yeah. Is this negation?
All
stuff?
negation.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, that whole page.
Yeah, I will I'll just do it to right here. Well, this kind of is something different. So I'm going to put it down here. And then I'm going to take this. And we're not necessarily going to keep all those notes, but just for the time being, just so it's in the right spot. Actually, I'm going to do a very, very small write-up here. I was saying verbs negate via a negative verb form in addition to an incorporated prefixal negator. This incorporated. I know what I wrote. This incorporated. This incorporated negator prevents ordinary noun incorporation. The resultant negated verb is treated like an intransitive verb and can take intransitive agreement. If the verb is base transitive, its former direct object argument is rendered in the oblative. Okay, that's...
Real quick before
Yes.
you go far away from that, mouse lane needs to be LangTime because
Thank
we
you.
have not done that.
Right, okay. Okay, so then at least that's in the right spot. We can... Did we talk about copulants in this language or no?
No, and I think part of that is that we aren't really doing a lot of adjectives. They're just going to be like prefixes.
Well, right, but how did you say the mouse is a teacher?
Well, right, but I'm just saying, like, I think that's part of why we hadn't discussed it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. And then Miles was asking if we're going to get to numbers because now we know it's an octal system.
Right.
So that is somewhere else we could go. That is definitely like more work to be done with decisions that have already been made. Copular constructions, right? Like
I do have an idea. So we could say that this starts off as a null copula language. But then basically it just takes a verb and turns it into a copula. And the verb can be like, you know, to going as or to act like or something like that. And then it can incorporate the object. And then, you know, when it negates, it does the same thing as here. But some verb that is like to act like, to sound like, to appear as, something like that.
just as a base, or would it be a metaphorical extension of?
I don't know, like, it could be, if you can think of something that would be a whiz-bang metaphorical extension of, that would be best. I can't think of a good one right off the top of my head. If anybody has any ideas.
I feel like we've used it before, but to mirror? Or reflect.
Reflect.
Or for mice, we also they scamper as a teacher.
Yeah.
As in, like, kind of go through life as a whatever. So they're always on the move, right? These mice are industrious.
Yeah, I think that, yeah, it's just move as copula. We could have something like that. But then the only thing is that move doesn't really incorporate an object. So that brings us to the next part, which is how do we do applicatives? Well,
Oh, dark horse. I am tied to teaching. That makes it into a verb form, but tie.
yeah, it's passive, though.
Right.
Which we don't have.
But if you to I feel like there's a good verb we can have here. Rather than having a root. I mean, but yeah, always the option just to have the root.
Yeah. Because I did. It was a good one, but it's just the passive problem.
Right.
But because I did think to just use take could become an applicative, and that would solve some other problems.
Can you give me an example of an applicative?
Yeah. Why not a passive deviated? Because we don't have any. We don't know how to do passives yet. That's why.
One thing at a time.
Yeah. So an applicative. So like, I mean, this is the example that we have from English is kind of very specific one, which is. But like, you know, I run, you can't really say I run. You know what, that's a bad one. How about Gosh, almost everything can be transitive in English, can't it? How about I talk? I talk the mouse. Doesn't make any sense, but you can say I out-talk the mouse. And so essentially what it is it's increased, it's taken this...
With swim, you were thinking like, I swim the dolphin, but I outswim the dolphin. Like,
yeah.
I think that's where your head was going. Okay,
yeah, you could do like I swim the channel, though. It's just a different, basically it's a different type of object. So it's a specific, it's both, it adds an object to a verb and also tells you what type of an object it's going to be. And so, like with something like this, you could just have like, I scurry, and you wouldn't be able to say, I scurry the teacher, but you could say, I, teacher, take scurry, which would mean I scurry as a teacher, which would mean I am a teacher. There are sometimes different types of applicatives. So for example, take generally lends itself to being an instrumental applicative. So if we can think of a better one, that means in the body of, or like in the person of, or in the guise of, but then that's almost like, that's what we were looking for in the first place anyway.
Right. Attach and contain were two potential like ideas, semantic field ideas.
And then stuff in cheeks, but then like, I'm saying like you stuff the teacher in your cheeks?
Well, when need be. Oh man. And I think, and Dark Horse was asking about like locative.
This is a different
Yeah. To wrap around.
thing.
But you also have to be careful, Dark Horse, because we're talking about a noun. So it's like I wrap myself around teaching, yeah, but like I wrap myself around teacher is kind of what, and like really, I guess.
With got it. Okay. So let's do take, pick up, and this is going to be an instrumental applicative. And then, but for a comitative applicative, either comitative or like I don't know, translative, whatever. Like the one that we're talking about, we use so it's like you know, I hug friend, go market. It's like, well, if you're hugging the friend, that means you're with them, and with them in like a happy way, and in like, you know, a mutual way, right? And so then you just metaphorically extend that to I do this with them.
And whatever verb we have here for the copula, like, would there be a difference between I scurry with the teacher and I am the teacher if we had that that double sort of job for that marker, if that makes sense?
Well, the idea is like, I mean, part of it was the word scurry being bleached enough that it gets interpreted as a copula. And so, like, if we went that far, then you would say, like, it's kind of like, you know, I walk along, you know, as a teacher. So it's like I hug the role of teacher and then walk along or scurry along. Whereas, like, ordinarily it would be interpreted as, you know, you're talking about an animate object, right? I don't know.
So we have a verb meaning to scurry, to run. What if we had?
Hold on, you're doing the wrong
What am I doing?
dictionary.
I did what I wanted to.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Seeing a scamper has enough connotational difference. Really the same. But, like, essentially multiple verbs, because we have to run, to scurry. If we had like an older form that was just scurry or scamper, and then it got used as a copula, and then now to run also means to scurry or to scamper. Like some sort of situation where they split off and it, like this verb that we're going to use for the copular portion of it no longer means.
Well, the question was how to incorporate it, because scurry is intransitive. That's why we went the route of the applicative mode. And I wasn't prepared to make the jump to say, like, you can just incorporate on anything and force a meaning out of it. I mean, this was basically the way that incorporated. In other words, you couldn't do teacher scurry, but you could do teacher scurry. And this would both of these things would just be one word. Each of these would be one word. Yeah. Right. That's right. Okay. I really do like these things as applicatives. I understand your hesitance for using this for our copula. Let me just take a quick look at our cases and see if we have something that just...
Oh, I'm not hesitant about using it for the copula. I was asking about any potential issues with it being comminative and copula, if that would...
I mean, maybe. Where did all of our cases come from?
Verbs.
Slide. No. It's the tie. Instrumental, by the way, is tie. Sleep. If we had a vialis, we don't. We have an avertive, which is the opposite of a vialis. Well, like, we could just do scurry and use the superessive, I suppose. It comes from sleep. And it's like, basically, if you sleep as somebody, then you are that person. You use actually just a verb like to breathe or to be alive. I live as a teacher.
I actually like breathe.
Breathe.
So like teacher, hug, breathe would be the essential. Oh, that is.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. V. That would be our copula. V. And it would take the superessive.
Oh, sorry. Are you now saying like breathe and then with superessive instead of doing an applicative
Yes.
for the copula?
And then keep the applicatives for other things.
Because with it being breathe, I feel like the applicative could come back more easily with the hug. Oh, and Jake is asking if we could use evidentials for some of this. And Quechua, this is one strategy for the third person. The superessive comes from sleep. And so would that be incorporated into the breathe?
It could. I was just thinking because this is where incorporation came from, was a reduplication of breathe, with the interpretation being I breathe a breath.
Well then, if we end up using superessive though, if we had an unmarked noun next to a superessive noun and no verb at all, that could be a quote copular construction, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like, I mean, yeah. Essentially, yes, dark horse, yeah. The idea being that if you sleep with something, you are that thing. Having the copula there gives us more leeway because we can add more stuff to it. But we could say it just drops out in certain circumstances. Okay, let's move forward with this and also move forward with our applicatives. I like where the applicatives are going. I don't think that we need them for this.
I think it was above all the negation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, copula. So now let's put that down there. Oh no. Whatever. Okay. Okay, whatever. All right, copula. LangTime uses the verb be as a copula, along with a superessive object. However, when not necessary, the verb may drop out, leaving a natural noun followed by a superessive object, which will be understood as a basic tenseless copular construction. Okay. All right. All right?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I think okay, is there going to be a way that we can take those small class of adjective prefixes that we have and attach it to some sort of generic noun if we do want to have, like, the mouse is terrifying versus the terrifying mouse or the small mouse. The mouse is small.
I mean, I would say yes, but I would also say we probably don't need to.
Okay.
Like, you could use the same thing that we used for the other pronouns. Yeah, G.
Okay, so like the mouse and then small one.
Yeah. One second, this is bothering me. There we go. Okay. Let's put, so we know what we're doing here. Applicatives. There we go. Instrumental and comitative. And the other obvious applicatives would be,
I love that you say obvious stuff.
like benefactive and then just a generic, right? Or do we even need one?
The generic or the benefactive?
Do we need a generic?
I guess.
Do we causative? Causative is what I was thinking of. Yeah, causative. Rather than applicative. I mean, I guess one way to say that, to say causative is a causative applicative. I guess they are kind of applicatives, but they're very specific. Well, aren't all applicatives? So why don't we just call causatives applicatives? Anyway.
I think it was Minnie. That was exactly what was happening. David is. That's impressive. I apologize for how loud everything was. Chris says locative is common, but we have a locative case.
Odom never apologized. We do. Yeah, locative is common. No, but but like that's, we do have a locative case, but then it's like you wouldn't need it.
Right.
Like, yeah, it's just, here, I'm gonna write that as just a
Miles, I'm gonna assume that's a joke. And that. Yeah, it's a joke. It's a joke. Miles knows exactly. There we go. Okay, there's the fully sarcastic. Thank you. I was like, holy cow, we're not to that stage yet, are we? At least, surely people have heard stories, right? Like, even if it's from their grandparents, surely they've heard stories.
Oh man, you need to watch 30 Rock. There's a time where Mr. Donaghy is grilling Jenna, who insists she's 29, even though she's like 33 or something, and he's just fires at her a series of questions to prove that she is. And the last one is like, did you do something at a drive-in? And she looks at him and thinks for a moment, what's a drive-in?
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, Miles just watched that scene.
Yeah, it's so good. Well, so we'll throw causative on there. Do we have a word that means to pick up or take at the moment?
No.
Okay.
All of our.
I was hoping we did, because the next thing that we need to do is come up with a form for something like hug or take or pick up, and then put these things together and then see how negation is going to work.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we're going to run over, because I think what's going to happen is David's going to highlight this and change the font color for the applicatives.
Yeah.
And this will end up being
so just make it green.
like the start of where.
That's what we're going to do next time.
Where we'll be next week.
Yeah.
And as a couple announcements, next week we will have regular LangTime Thursday.
Yes.
But as a reminder, 2 weeks from today is Thanksgiving, and there will be something different, not a live stream that day. It'll be a special episode.
Something different and super special that we are 100% going to do between now and then.
Totes. And it'll be here's our favorite episode. Rewatch it. And if you're a patron, the patron live stream will be Saturday the 20th, and so not in 2 days, but in 9 days. So get that on your calendar, and it will be at 12 o'clock Pacific time. That is noon Pacific time, not midnight, noon.
Yeah.
David would probably prefer it at midnight, in all
Yep.
honesty. I would fall asleep partway through. Truth?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would fall asleep partway through. All right, so hope you all have a wonderful week. Be ready next week when we will reveal whether we're doing the voiceless vowel system.
That's right.
We will reveal that next week, and we'll see what happens. Stay grammar, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.